catching the replay. So also let me know if you've caught the replay and what your thoughts are. So let's go ahead and get started. I know everybody's busy. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to Reclaiming Your Radiance, a journey beyond weight loss. I am super excited to offer this masterclass today, especially because right now we're actually finally talking about perimenopause and menopause, and we are having open discussions. And I think that women are really looking for solutions to not just survive this time in our life, but to thrive. And so, what I really wanted to put together for all of you was some strategies and tools that are practical that you could really start to implement today and start to see changes in your life, and also really introduce my methodology to sustainable long-term success when it comes to things like weight loss, blood sugar regulation, confidence, energy, sleep, and just an overall feeling of vitality, especially in this phase in our life. I think that for so many of us, it feels like a death sentence, or that somehow all these changes and frustrations and just surprises can really feel dysregulating. And the amount of information that is out there right now is overwhelming, and it's definitely not personalized for anyone. It is very prescriptive. And it's also really silo based, meaning they're really only talking about one specific thing, whether that's, keep eat high protein and do strength training, and and everything will work out, and they're really missing some real key elements to thriving in this phase in our life, because it's not just about what we put into our bodies as far as nutrition and overloading their system with protein, or lifting a bunch of weights. That's really just the superficial level. So I am super excited to give you just an overview of what I have found to be successful in my practice and with my clients. So please feel free to put questions in the chat. And if you are watching the replay, which I imagine many of you are, please feel free to reach out and email me. I'm happy to answer questions and help support women in this journey. So let me just make sure. So I want to take a moment, first of all, and just say that if you're here and you are in perimenopause or menopause, or you're not sure if you're in perimenopause or menopause, that's okay. I imagine you could be suffering from symptoms like weight gain, inflammation, blood sugar issues, sleep or lack of sleep, um, lab values that used to be normal and all of a sudden are not, mood swings, low libido, anxiety, depression. Uh, there is a myriad of symptoms that come with perimenopause and menopause. And what I want to do today is help equip you with some tools that can help you thrive, and also just really empower you so that you are not coming from a place of struggle. You're coming from a place of strength and empowerment, and really knowing how to navigate all of this and feeling like you have some sense, uh, and you can advocate for yourself, because that's really, really important as well. Before we move forward and jump into the presentation, I just want to introduce myself. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Rachel Justicia. I am a women's wellness expert, metabolic balance practitioner, and an NLP practitioner. And NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And I have been working with women in the health and wellness industry for over 15 years. I love what I do. And I work with women one-on-one, and I also work with women in a group coaching setting. I'm the founder of the Midlife Breakthru Method and the Amplify course. My own personal journey with my body and with the relationship with my body started at the age of 13. I battled my weight, insecurity, trauma at a young age, and really spent most of my life in a pattern of restriction, chronic dieting, and really running from myself and with the mentality of fixing anything and everything that I needed to because I thought that there was something wrong with me. And this drive of really pursuing perfectionism ultimately ended up uh, affecting my health. And I battled a 4 year long autoimmune illness that was that was debilitating in almost all aspects of my life. And as I healed and really came back into my body and started to reframe and reinvent how I approached my health and my relationship with my body, was really able to connect with a deeper purpose and really heal all the layers that needed to be addressed. And that is where my passion and purpose really came through in helping other women on their journey. So, that is really what I do. I help women in midlife really reclaim their vitality and their energy and reconnect with themselves in a new way, in a way that empowers them and also really helps them look at all of the areas in their life so that they can transform not just their nutrition, but their lifestyle, their spirituality, their relationships. And so it really becomes a recipe for them for a full transformation, which can be really life changing. So I'm going to jump right in because I know that everybody is busy and I do have slides. And so I'm going to share my screen. What I do want to say is while I do have slides, I would really encourage you to take notes, even if you're listening. Um, the tidbits and the nuggets may be in what I say, because sometimes these things will just come to me as I'm speaking. So obviously, feel free to take pictures of the slides and all that, but the presentation won't be in the replay, so you may want to just jot some things down that resonate, and we'll get started. So let me share my screen here. And I am fighting some allergies, so I hope my sniffles don't become annoying. We'll put my screen there for now. If it gets in the way, I'll just minimize it. All right, so reclaiming your radiance, a journey beyond dieting. So let's talk about what to expect today. We're going to talk about the negative impact of diet culture, the importance of nourishing your unique body. I'm going to give you simple tools and techniques to reframe limiting beliefs. I'm going to also provide 4 key strategies and methodology for sustainable, lasting change. These are really my pillars in my practice that I use, and I'm going to really present this from a high level. So I'm going to give you little sprinkles of how I incorporate all of these areas, but obviously, working with me one-on-one or taking one of my courses is really going to be where you're going to get the most value. And then supporting your health and weight loss journey with spirituality, cultivating deep self love. And I promise that while I'm going to be covering a lot of different things, if you implement just a few of these strategies and mindset changes, you will actually see results in as little as 2 weeks. So I think that sometimes there is this idea that when we are approaching things from a holistic, natural approach, and we're, really trying to cover several different things and we're not just looking at one, people feel overwhelmed and they think that they're not going to see results. I am a very results driven woman, and I also like to see results as quickly as possible, and I also want to keep those results. So I just want to say that really quickly. So let's talk about the impact of chronic diet mentality. I think I would say 95% of women in America today has been either raised with a diet mentality, or they currently have one, or they're fighting one. Uh, the problem with having a diet mentality when you're trying to lose weight and improve your health is that we get fixated on a number instead of looking at our overall health. And I will tell you that if that it has been your pattern, or if that is something that you have struggled with, um, now is the time in your life to really switch things up, because perimenopause and menopause does, for many women, not all, does uh, what is the word I'm looking for? It introduces different chronic health conditions that may or may not have been there and may have just shown up because inflammation is increasing due to the varying decrease and fluctuations of estrogen, so, and other hormones as well. So this is really a time for you to think long term, for you to not just look at, oh, I want to get into this pair of jeans, or I want to, I want to see this number on the scale. When you can reframe and really look at things from a health perspective, you are really able to see uh, long-term results, and you're really able to have such a more beautiful and positive approach when it comes to your life. And we'll talk more about that. The diet mentality also reinforces the psychological impact of restrictive eating, binging, and emotional eating. So it's to no surprise, and I'm sure that you're aware, I think all of us who have been on this journey with our bodies have at one point or another struggled with things like, um, an inappropriate or unhealthy relationship with food, some sort of body dysmorphia, some sort of pattern of eating that is not healthy. And so this idea that this, prescription or this diet, and when I use the word prescription, I just mean one way of doing things works for everyone. This really puts us in a box, and it really limits how we view possibility. It also creates a fixed state mentality. Many women who come into my program, they, obviously weight loss is the initial, that superficial layer of goal that they are trying to get to. That being said, this doesn't end. You know, when we have this idea that, okay, by this time I'm going to be this size, I'm going to weigh this, I'm going to have all these things accomplished. That's great, because goals are really important. But what happens is that, again, we're not thinking about it as a lifestyle, and we get frustrated and we lose sight of the bigger picture. Also, restrictive dieting, diet mentality, really what I like to call, forcing or using only willpower when in this journey, really creates more inflammation. It creates chronic inflammation in our mindset, in our body, and what the body will do is it will hold. It will hold on to weight as a protection mechanism. It will hold on to inflammation, and it will hold on to chronic pain. So, you know, again, as we look at this, it's really important that we have a deeper connection with our bodies. And, we really want to have that deeper connection with ourselves so that we know what's working and what isn't for us. So let's talk a little bit about how we can understand and the importance of understanding your body's needs. Um, this is really where I like to talk a little bit about the calories in versus calories out approach. So many women will come to me and say, "Hey, I'm tracking my food and and I'm moving and I'm getting 10,000 steps a day and I'm intermittent fasting and not my body, the scale's not moving and I don't feel well and I don't understand." And um, the problem is that, food and calories, unfortunately, you know, are not a transaction. Our bodies are not just a simple transaction or a math equation. And there are so many facets that we have to pay attention to, and not just the calories and the food and movement. That's a tiny part of the equation. Also, while weight loss doesn't need to be complicated, it must be unique to you. So if we are not customizing and we are not connected to our bodies, we are trying this new diet that our friend told us worked really great for us, or we're on social media and we see that, oh, this diet that eliminates four food, these different food groups, this could work, and or this new pill XYZ. This is something that I find to be one of the biggest problems in our culture. And also, again, it's not sustainable because it's not for us specifically. It's not unique to us. And we're not really looking at what all of our unique facets are when it comes to what it takes for our journey. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and and how I approach that so that you'll have a better understanding. Um, again, the journey is just not about food. That's the doorway in, okay? Nutrition, weight loss, that's what I say is the doorway into my program and into a transformation. Whoops. But that's not, let's see what happened here. I got hands happy. Oh, give me a second. Sorry. Okay, let's fix that. So, the first thing that I want to talk about, we're going to talk about four different areas. Like I said, the first thing I want to talk about is that we need to pay attention to, and I just want to say quickly, these aren't in any order. I really value all of these equally. They all matter, and for the most part, we spend most of our time and our attention in this area of personalized nutrition, meaning food, calories, movement. That's where all of the mind and all of the programs and even from physicians, nutritionists, this is where most of the emphasis is placed. And I will tell you right now that they are missing key elements. And that is why I'm really passionate about my methodology because, again, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at the long game. I'm looking at something that is going to not just give me results right now, but that I can feel confident and have peace and not the anxiety that I got to always be working towards something again, and grinding and cutting my calories even more because now what I'm eating just isn't working. Or I need to cut my calories because I've the scale stopped or isn't moving. So we need to look at all of you, and labs and blood work are essential. So if we don't have a baseline as to what your current health picture is, then it's really hard to know what's going on with your body. So again, when we're talking about creating a custom uh, meal plan, or what foods or how much food, what types of foods are best for your body, we are not able to do that if we don't know what's happening in your body right now. Uh, this is why I use the program Metabolic Balance. Metabolic Balance is a really, really beautiful and smart program. It was created from a doctor in Germany. And with this, and that's why I am trained as a practitioner with metabolic balance. So part of the process that I do in my practice is getting labs from clients so that then we're able to put them into the metabolic balance system, and we're able to see what nutrient deficiencies are there, what lipid values are there, what's high, and we're able to counteract and or heal the body and lower inflammation by assigning or prescribing the right foods in the amount that is needed for the individual based on your profile, based on your history, based on what's happening in your body, and your blood levels. And we're able to create a customized meal plan. It's a really, really valuable tool that my clients have, and there is no two plans that are alike. This is really quite unique, and something that is very specialized in my practice. In addition, this also, you'll see that, when I say personalized nutrition slash health, I'm all about getting as much bang for your buck as you can. And so when we talk about having um, a program that really looks at all of you and looks at your blood levels and everything, we are also able to heal the body and lower inflammation. Therefore, clients are able to lose weight much quicker and see results in really as little as a few weeks. We're also able to really address underlying conditions. So when we're talking about, things that you might be missing, or why you're struggling. This could be underlying gut issues, thyroid issues, blood sugar, like I've mentioned. And I'll just say that metabolic balance was really founded by a doctor who specialized in patients who were diabetic, and he was really looking for a solution to help patients get off medication. So this is science backed, and it's one of the many tools that I use in my practice when helping clients. Just want to see if there's any. Oh, the other thing too is that, especially in perimenopause and menopause, this is really a time for you to embrace, learn, and get get into, be excited about whole foods. Um, this isn't the time for you to be, looking at foods that are, that have little nutritional value, that, have low calories. I remember, when I first started dieting, low fat was like, all the rage was, I was young, and, so everything that I ate, like, it was like no fat, but none of it was really actually food. It was, boxed, it was frozen, and I was depleting my body so much. And while that may have worked when I was in my 20s, it didn't really work that well, or it definitely wouldn't work that well in this stage, and now almost 45 years old, um, really depleting the body of vital nutrients, because that's just going to create hormonal chaos and inflammation. Okay, so here's like some key strategies this is some of your golden nuggets that you may find to be useful. Number one, obviously understanding where your imbalances are and focusing your nutrition on healing. So get your labs done, find a baseline, and get them done, at least every 6 to 12 months, especially if you are in midlife and you are really trying to navigate this and figure things out. I also advise eating every 4 to 5 hours, no snacking, not to be grazing throughout the day. This will help balance blood sugar. This will also help you get into fat burning mode. So that first 2 hours, your body can work on digesting, and then the next, your body can really go into that fat burning mode. For those who do not have adrenal issues, um, eating 3 meals per day, spaced 4 to 5 hours apart, is really ideal. So, if you do have adrenal issues, cortisol, high cortisol, or low cortisol, uh, you may need to eat more frequently to start to balance your blood sugar a little bit. You may notice that you are hungrier during times of stress. That's because cortisol is going all over the place, and that's having an effect on your blood sugar. Avoid fasting. I know. I am defying all of what everybody says as far as intermittent fasting. I do not think intermittent fasting for most women in this phase of their life is ideal. That being said, I know there's plenty of women who do just fine intermittent fasting, but for the women that I work with that are, powerhouses, they are busy, they run their own business, they're A-type, or they have had a history of chronic dieting. Fasting will really do the opposite. It will hold inflammation. It will cause, again, issues with blood sugar imbalance, and it will cause hormonal chaos. I do recommend fasting, obviously, through the evening. So if you can end your dinner, 6, 7 p.m. and fast until the morning, that's the best time for women in this phase of life to be fasting. No coffee on an empty stomach. So again, this kind of goes in line with the fasting. Uh, it's really not ideal for you to get up and start, I know many women, and I used to be one of these women, I get my coffee and get going and I'm not hungry. So I'm not going to eat and I'm going to just keep working. And all of a sudden it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock. I've eaten nothing and I've been on coffee. Again, cortisol is through the roof. Later on, it's going to go down. It's going to affect blood sugar. It's also going to, in the long run, affect your adrenals. You're not going to be as focused. You're not going to have energy that is going to be consistent throughout the day. It's also a recipe for women who do have binging type disorders, and I want to use that word disorder, with caution. Many of us just have behaviors that have been locked in uh, for many, many years. And so, it's really just about recognizing what the triggers are and uh, and just like kind of reshaping your life, changing habits so that you're in a place that is more balanced. Meal combination is key. I have this pretty picture up here. It is really, really important that your meals are actual meals, that they have a good source of protein, carbohydrates. And when I say carbohydrates, I'm talking green leafy vegetables, root vegetables, colorful vegetables that are high in fiber. Um, and then for some women, clean carbohydrates, depending on your goals, depending on, you know, really also what your composition is, which I can help with. Um, and then fat, high quality, good fat, which comes in form of oils, coconut ghee, olive oil, avocado oil, flax seeds, and then high quality nuts and seeds. Like those are really the best fat sources, oils being my number one. If you are looking to maintain a healthy blood sugar level and also watch your weight. You want to have 25 to 35 grams of protein per day. And also, you want to keep your sugar around 25 to 35 grams. If you are really looking to drop weight and lower inflammation, keeping your sugar under 25 grams of fat, which I will tell you is challenging if you are new to all of this, but doing so will be a game changer for you. There is sugar in everything, and sugar causes inflammation, and that includes fruit. It includes everything. So um, you can always subtract fiber from that. So, like fruit has a lot, fruit, green leafy vegetables, they have a lot of fiber. But really, that would be a key strategy that you would want to really keep an eye on and notice. Notice how you feel. Notice if you're sleeping better. Notice if you have less cravings. That is something that I find to be really a big game changer for my clients. Okay, number two, important is goal setting and beliefs. Okay, so we talked about why goal setting, or we talked about nutrition and how that's important, but I want to talk about goal setting and where NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, comes into play. And this is really important. I keep pushing that. I'm so sorry. This is really important because um, so many people come in and they feel like they have a goal of losing weight and they want to lose X pounds by X date. And so part of what I ask them is why. And they say, oh, because I'm going on vacation. No, I don't let that answer slide. And they say, well, I want to feel better. Okay, what does that mean? Well, I want to have more energy. Okay. And why do you want to have more energy? Well, because, right now I can't even go up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. Okay. Well, why is that important to you? Well, because I feel embarrassed about that and I want to, be able to keep up with my kids. And why is that important? And so I really push until it's about 7, 8 layers deep until we're getting into the heart. Your why and your goal should really evoke emotion. If if it's not really heart centered and it's not really getting down to something that really matters to you, then you will get to a point on your journey where white knuckling and willpower will fade away and you'll want to quit and you'll say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, this is too hard. I'm not seeing results. This isn't working. So that's really an important exercise. And, I'll talk a little bit about the Amplify program at the end, but this is also something that I have created education around as far as how do you set goals? How do you set sustainable goals? How do you set goals that, are achievable? We talk about SMART goals. So this is really an important piece, and this is something that you need to do before you jump in any program. Um, Limiting beliefs. Okay, so what are limiting beliefs? Um, Really, limiting beliefs can fall into categories like unhelpful thoughts. So fears, dialogue, stories that you're telling yourself, um, adult, everyday limiting beliefs, which, really can get us in trouble. These are usually situational in present day life, and they're usually more conscious. And then we have those core wound limiting beliefs that, we were either born into or we developed as a young child. We may not actually be conscious of these limiting beliefs, but this is really our baggage. It's the baggage we bring in, and it's really what keeps us from being our best self, from really like stepping out of that comfort zone and really believing that we have the ability to do and be anything that we set our minds to. Because right now, in in the society that we live in, we are really not taught that we have that ability, and we're really not encouraged to release that old baggage. So this is something that I find to be extremely beneficial and a real pivotal moment for clients when we do this work together and we really uncover, these limiting beliefs, and we're able to release and then move forward so that they're not getting in the way of what they are truly desiring. So we all have limiting beliefs. Like I said, these can be, unconscious or conscious. Usually, the ones that are really keeping us from where we are uh, to where we really want to be, those usually are unconscious, and they are usually rooted in childhood, and they're usually be developed before the age of 5. Um, so this is also why I really believe that if we don't do this work, this really sets us apart from those who are really excelling in their life and really showing up, and not just in weight loss and health, but in all areas of life. Okay, if we can really work on our belief system, we can really find uh, abundance and acceptance, and so much of what we desire really just coming to fruition. Um, and again, this also creates a vibration. So, you can do all of the manifestations and say all the things, and really be in this, I'm saying all the affirmations and I'm looking in the mirror. But if it is coming from a vibration of disbelief, then it's not going to allow you to really achieve those things and really manifest what you're desiring. So, some very common rooted deep disbeliefs or excuse me, beliefs that I often find my clients have are: I'm not good enough. My value depends on what other people think of me. I'm not deserving. I don't matter. I'm not important. And a lot of these beliefs are stemmed from, families or childhoods that did not foster, an environment that was really tending to the child, that was really honoring their feelings, that was really allowing them to express in a safe environment, that was putting them in um, positions of adults, meaning they were put in positions as a child where they were having to be the adult, where they were caretaking, where they were taking on baggage from the adults when that really wasn't something that they should be taking on. So, this is deep work. This is not something that that this is something that really will set you apart when it comes to reaching your goals, but it does require going inward and really wanting and having that desire to heal and let go of some of those things so that you can really thrive. So again, here are some other tidbits. You may want to snap a photo or jot these down. Here are just some strategies, and I will also remind. I just want to do a plug right here. Um, a great book that I would really recommend, that is by Dick Schwartz, called No Bad Parts. his work was really rooted in parts integration and really being curious about thoughts, feelings, emotions, and the different parts of us that are all inside of us, our childlike parts, our teenager parts, and all the parts that show up and try to protect us. It's an excellent book, and really something that I would really encourage all of you to read. Um, and um, he really pioneered this idea of like being curious, asking questions, and do it out of out of curiosity and kindness and not from a place of judgment. Because when we are judging ourselves and when we are really having this resistance, why can't I do this? Why can't I reach my goals? Why do I keep, self-sabotaging? The more resistance we have inside of ourselves, the uh, the greater chance that these problems will reoccur. And it's when we invite in curiosity and we can sit with it and we can have um, compassion for ourselves and for those parts will back off and we are able to integrate. Work on noticing and releasing. Okay, this is a process, right? We're always noticing, being aware. This also comes back to why having a connection with your body is so important. This is not the time in your life where you want to move through this stage being disconnected. I will tell you that you have the answers inside of you. And I know that people say that, and it sounds like some Buddhist, far-fetched quote, but it is reality. And we as women are so incredibly strong and resilient and capable. And we forget this. We forget this because we are wearing multiple hats. We are exhausted. We are feeling as though we have to maintain roles that are both in the feminine and the masculine. We are working on our careers, we're trying to raise children. And in the midst of that, we are losing ourselves and we are not creating space for a connection with ourselves. And this is so important as you do this work. Practice compassion, journaling, writing. This is an amazing self practice to do. Get your thoughts out. You'd be surprised. Journeying. This is an amazing meditation practice that you can do, visualizing. All of these things require you to create space and time for yourself. This is where the work is. And I'm going to tell you, this is just as important, if not more important, as you creating time for meal planning, for you like figuring out what to eat and what not to eat, for you getting your steps in, for you finding time for movement. This is what is going to be the foundation for you to really have that lasting, sustainable success. This is also where the healing takes place. And when you can uh, from come into your goals and into your life from a place of compassion and healed perspective, it's a game changer. Affirmations, we've talked about that. Seek out support, hire a coach, get involved in a group, be with other women who are also trying to heal. Surround yourself with people that are doing this work, trauma work, EMDR, somatic work. All of these things are super helpful. Okay, so number three, uh, lifestyle and integrations. I like to really emphasize the word integration. So many programs, so many coaches out there that give you all the things. Here you go. This is what you need to do. Get lift the weights, do the things, eat the protein, these 20 grams of protein. They're, and they're muscly and they're showing them their photos and they're showing pictures of what they're eating, what I eat in a day. Who cares? Look, if you don't know how to integrate all these practices, then you are going to be overwhelmed. You are going to feel as though you don't have space or time. You're going to feel like You are isolated because all of these women look like they're able to do all these things, and you're like, I here's my day. It's packed. How do I integrate this? How do I, create a lifestyle out of this? This is what I help clients do uh, ongoing. So, this is where micro goals come in. We're setting goals, we're really getting into those goals, and once the micro goal is reached, we're integrating, and then we set a new goal. And if you are coming in, it's just like, if you are someone who is going from couch to wanting to run a marathon, you cannot just go out and run a marathon. You have to, you got to start walking, and you're going to have to start strength training, and then you start with 3 miles and 6 miles, and so those steps are vital. And when we're talking about integration, we're talking about creating lifestyle changes, we're talking about habits, we're talking about building foundations and momentum so that this isn't just a 4 month, 6 month process. This is something that really is going to radiate throughout your life, and it's going to transform your life. So some just a few integration lifestyle integrations that I think are really helpful and things to consider. High quality supplementation. If you follow me, you'll know that I'm really a big proponent of third party tested high quality supplementation. Everybody has a product today. Be careful, especially if you are in perimenopause and menopause. I know the late night scrolling, you don't feel great. You're looking for quick solutions. You see all these testimonials, and you see these beautiful women, these beautiful bodies, and they're just thriving. And they don't have hot flashes anymore, and they don't have weight gain. And like, here's a shot, here's a pill. Be careful, okay? If you are really on this journey looking for something deeper and really wanting something that is going to be uh, impactful throughout your life, um, be diligent about um, quality and what you really allow in. Not everything that you need to accomplish your goals comes from the outside. Okay. HRT, so hormone replacement therapy. Look, um, you can do all of these things that I'm talking about, and while some women will breeze through perimenopause and menopause and not need anything, some women will need some support. And hormone replacement therapy has come a long way. And I would encourage you, if you are not on my email list, if you're not following me, get on there. I talk a lot about HRT. I talk a lot about the different types of hormone replacement therapy. There are lots of ways that you can come into hormone replacement therapy. So don't be afraid of that. Rest, sleep. I know you're all are like, I don't sleep. I can't sleep. We have to find space and time to rest and sleep. Uh, Even if that means you are condensing your schedule, if you are taking 5 or 10 minutes just to take a break from your desk, your body, especially in perimenopause, needs more space and time. You will burn out, you will feel depleted, you will not be able to handle the stress that you used to in this stage of your life. It is a hard pill to swallow. I will tell you that as someone who has been um, a driver and a pusher all of her life. This has been something I have had to really step back with. It's also a good segue into boundaries, saying no. Who are you allowing into your energy field? What are you saying yes to all the time? Uh, as you go through this transformation, and as my clients have gone through this, the one thing that is very consistent is they will start to notice where their energy uh, depletion points are in their relationships, in their work. This can be an amazing time for you to listen to yourself, for you to really say, how does this feel for me? Do I like this? Does this relationship work? Is it filling my cup, or is it just taking from me? This is a really great time to assess all of that and to have a voice and to use it. Noticing areas in your life that cause inflammation. Again, you know, the work situations we're in, the relationships, family, all of these areas can really, again, either fill or take away from our cup. And as busy women in this stage of our life, your cup is not a gulp sized cup, okay? It's not huge. So really careful and be picky. Be picky about who you let in, where your lines are, and how people respond is their business. That's not for you to worry about. Finding exercise and movement that works for you and your body and where you are at in this phase. So I know that everybody is talking about strength training, lifting weights, lift heavy, lift heavy. Look, if you don't like lifting weights or you are in a state of nervous system dysregulation, lifting super heavy weights may not be your entry point right now. Now, am I an advocate of strength training? Yes. I think, you know, you really don't want to be in a cardio bunny state. That being said, some women really love their cardio. So it's that balance. This isn't just about the body and the physical. It's also about our mental. It's about what movement feels good for us. And I would really encourage you that less is more. You don't actually need to push your bodies in the way that perhaps you might be accustomed to. I don't advise HIIT training for most women in perimenopause and menopause, really. Um, Depending on the type of HIIT, that could be a whole different discussion. And HIIT stands for high intensity training, if that term isn't familiar to you. Um, and then support and accountability. This is really, and I'm going to talk about this at the end. This is really why I created the Amplify Group program. This journey can feel isolating, it can feel lonely. When we are talking about things like our weight, food, um, behaviors that we're not proud of, trauma, things that happened to us as a young child, things that we don't want to talk about, our relationships, our work, it's not easy to talk about. And it can feel like we're navigating this alone, or like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do I feel this way? They look like they're just thriving. And so that's why support and accountability, community, all of that is really, really important in this phase of life. And, really finding people and women that you can that really resonate with you, that get it, that see you, that hold space for you, and vice versa. It's a really amazing time right now, because I really feel that women are longing for that connection. They are longing to seek something outside of themselves. They are missing connection. I think after COVID and after, the dust has maybe finally settled and we're all a little zoomed out and computered out, and we want that connection. We want to feel like we have women and a community around us that supports us in our journey. And that's a really great segue into this last piece, which is intentional self care and spirituality. Now, some of you may roll your eyes like, spirituality. Look, spirituality is really just having a relationship that is greater than or that is outside of yourself. And I will tell you that this is not just beautiful, it is something that we as a society have been missing out on and have been ignoring for far too long. Other countries do such a great job at really creating rituals and making things sacred practices and really coming together and not just ignoring milestones and important times. This is something that I'm actually going to be really integrating more into my practice. So stay tuned. But let's talk a little bit about this, and then I want to talk about the Amplify program. That's going to be a new launch, and then we will end with any questions that people may have. So I want to be mindful of time here. So reducing stress via spiritual practices. I'm going to talk a little bit about the nervous system. So, this is one area again, why all of these areas are super important and why assessing all of them is really important in this stage of life if you do have goals of weight loss or health goals. Because if you're coming in with a dysregulated nervous system, meaning you have been in a state of fight, flight, or freeze for some time, your body will have a very, very hard time losing weight. Why? Because it's in protection mode. Everything is a threat, including your attempts to hold back food, restrict, change, put more exercise in, etc. So this is super, super important. We have to listen to the cues of our body. This means honoring and trusting our body. And again, I'm going to say it, if you don't have a connection with your body and you don't know what's right for you and you can't feel into that, then you will be under the influence and really a victim of our poor medical system that does not support women in this phase of life, that just prescribes a pill that only looks at one symptom and does not look at all of you. So what I really teach my clients is to really know, love, and understand their bodies so that not just they so so that not only are they able to reach their goals and not only are they able to navigate their lives in a more balanced and confident way, but they're also able to advocate for themselves. You should be working with healers, doctors, practitioners, coaches that are collaborative, that are not just telling you one way to be or do. It's really important. Longevity is linked to spiritual practices. This is true in the case of chronic illness, cancer. They have found that women who go to church, women who have community, women who are cared for by their family instead of being put in a home, are actually have a much greater chance of surviving cancers, breast cancer, than those who are left in isolation and those who do not have any sort of spiritual practice. And I just want to say this is not this could be a religion, but it's not necessarily religion. Okay, I'm not preaching any sort of religion here. This is spirituality and intentional deep self-care. It is almost impossible to lose weight when rumination and negative thinking are the norm. Again, this goes back to limiting beliefs, but it also really ties in with our environment, what we're allowing in, um, what types of messages we are allowing into our unconscious, what the dialogue we are saying to ourselves. If you have said your whole life, I'm just kind of a bigger person. I kind of get to a certain weight and that's kind of it for me. Or, I'll never be one of those thin girls, or I'll never look like this, or I'll never have that type of job. That's a story that you have created for yourself. And what you believe will come true. So, we either unconsciously or consciously create our own reality. So, intentional self-care, self there's a typo there, self-car, and rituals become the glue that holds all the habits together. So as we're building these habits and as we're really like working towards this goal, You really have this beautiful, almost like bubble that wraps you up and reminds you that you're doing this for a greater purpose, that there's something bigger, that you are more than just a body, you are more than just a number, you're more than just your weight, you're more than just your symptoms. And if all you're focusing on is that number and that drive, again, you're going to reach burnout and you're going to experience a dysregulated nervous system, which is, really something that uh, is being talked about more. And I would encourage you to look up the vagus nerve and really look at, um, some of the trauma responses that you may have that could be correlated with this. And for those of you who are attending this masterclass or watching the replay, I am going to be following up with a, a beautiful document that I created for some self-care practices that you can incorporate today and just kind of incorporate them, cycle them through in your life, see what resonates. So just in conclusion, I hope that number one, this gives you a bit of an idea of what I find to be really important when it comes to sustainable long-term health and wellness in midlife, and also why all of these things are important and why we can't just look at one of them, because they all matter and they all play a big role. And for those of you, again, who are really looking for a deeper transformation, you're really looking for something bigger, and you may not know how to verbalize that, but you know it in your heart. Um, I would encourage you to check out some of the services that I offer, and and specifically, I want to talk about the Amplify program. So Amplify, which is a non-diet approach to healing, originally is built out as a course with over 30 different over 30 different videos, and it's really includes, and I'll get into all the things that it includes, but it was my way of combining my one-on-one coaching, which is the midlife breakthrough method, and all of the resources and all of the phases of metabolic balance and all of the other things that my clients came to me for that kind of came up in my one-on-one coaching. And so this is years of my education. This is experience with my clients. This is my own contribution as far as what my journey has brought, all in one. And because I really feel like community is so important right now and how we can learn from one another, I am launching this as a group program, and this will be the first round that I'm launching, and I am doing a soft launch with all of you in this master class. So this is for women, 35 and up. It's a beautiful opportunity for connection. It is going to address all of the symptoms and the things that you are struggling with and going through. And really, it's going to provide a real deep transformation. It includes lots of things. I'm going to be dropping in twice a month for live calls, Q&A. So you're not going to be alone on this journey. You're going to have access to a message board, and basically a community that is going to allow you to ask questions. It's going to allow you to connect with other women, ask them questions, chat. You're going to have your own client portal where you can track your food. You can have all of your labs. You can track supplementation. You can track steps. You can do all the things. It's also going to include an onboarding call with me, um, where we discuss your goals, and also just so that I have a bit of a connection And it's not just like you're just going in and watching a bunch of videos. It also includes a one-on-one coaching session from me. So at any point in your journey, uh, we'll be able to connect and I'll be able to provide you custom one-on-one coaching. This also includes, again, the whole metabolic balance program. So that's 4 phases and includes the labs along with that. And all 30 modules, goal setting, all sorts of educational type videos and bonus recipes, protocols. And again, this will be in a group setting, and you will have access to these live weekly calls